Oh great, there's the shadow in my face. I'll switch over here. It'll take just a minute in case you're watching this after the fact and not live. It always takes a couple minutes for people to join. I'm sure you know this. Hopefully you do. So, in the meantime, if you're watching this right now, I would like to know what questions you have for Rabbi Gerfine. I'm talking to him. I'm talking to him once a month. It used to be every other month, but now it's just once a month. And I know I can come up with more things to ask him, but I want to give you guys the opportunity as well. The best way would be send me an email and put, question for the rabbi in the subject line, and then I can save those questions and then ask him. I, you know, I want to keep talking to him. I feel like I've already asked so many questions, but it got to a point where I was kind of like thinking about not really interviewing him anymore. For one thing, I had already asked like all my main questions, and then it doesn't seem like out of my audience, it seems like only a subsection really cared to listen to those interviews. So I was like, you know what, maybe this has run its course, but I didn't want to like give up this like opportunity, because how many times do you come across a rabbi that lives in Jerusalem that's been living in Israel living in Israel since his like 20s? There's got to be more that I can learn from him about Judaism and Israel, and also whatever current events are taking place in Jerusalem. So I don't want to give it up, but we are going to reduce it to just once a month. So if you have questions, please email me, and then I can ask him those questions. Sorry about the cough. Glenda Wheeler, hi Jared. Love from SLC. Heart, stay toasty. I am. This fan does a really good job with its heater. I am toasty right now, and I'm also wearing this very nice Ariat hoodie. And yeah, who else is here? It looks like only 11 this time. I guess everybody else that was here before has moved on. Anybody else here? Anything you want to talk about? What are your predictions for this next general conference? Do you think that President Nelson is only going to talk one time again? Do you think it's going to be a pre-recorded talk? There's only 11 people. Okay, well, I'll tell you what my predictions are. I think that it probably will be the same. I'll bet that he would only give like one talk this upcoming general conference. LF says yes, meaning that you think that he'll only talk, or just give one talk. I think it's all but certain, because oh my gosh, what is that guy doing? There's a guy out there like running across the parking lot really fast. Oh, okay, I know why it's really fast. It's because it's 3 degrees outside. That's why. He just looked like a crazy person. He was trying to get back to his car over at the grocery store gas station. Pitch don't pitch it don't the hunt. Okay, wait. Pitch Don. Okay, whatever. I think he will be there, but only give one talk. Oh, so you think that he'll actually be there in person? Amy Loria says he's supposed to be speaking at a women's broadcast they just announced. Really? There's a women's broadcast? Like some kind of like women's devotional or something like that? LF thinks pre-recorded. El Paculi, hey Jared, keep looking up. We're in exciting times. Stay safe. I agree, and you too. Um, let's see. Esther Nilsson Barker, I'm back. Just like to listen. That's fine. Oh, Troy just sent me a text from the last dispensation. Make sure to check out his channel. Check out our interview that we did together. It's the one that has the thumbnail of a nuclear bomb in Jerusalem. That's the video. Amy Loria, probably. It's going to be a testimony meeting like they did for the youth in March. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, it's too hot. It's too hot. I'm starting to get sweaty. LF says just like the Christmas devotional. Okay, well, I'll be looking forward to it. I'm sure that something amazing will be said, because President Nelson has been all about the sisters. He's been really talking about, well, he brought it up once when he was an apostle in one of his general conference talks, and then as president of the church during the women's session, he there was like a video message talking about President Spencer W. Kimball's prophecy about the women of the church, meaning the women right now, today, these women, you, are the ones that he was prophesying of when he said that they would bring in large numbers of people into the church. So I wouldn't be surprised if he touches on that in some way during this this event. Mallory Cote, or Cote, President Nelson is doing a Worldwide Relief Society devotional on March 17th with the General Relief Society presidency. Amy, do you have his new book? He has a whole chapter on the women of the church and other important talks that he has given. No, I don't. I don't. It'd be nice to have. I've never really been big on owning books. I read a lot of stuff, but it's mostly online. And now when I read the scriptures, it's pretty much always using the Gospel Library app. My New Year resolution this year, one of them is to read the Book of Mormon every day. Haven't quite done it every day, but I am like regularly reading it. So, Glenda Wheeler, it's so hard to tell. Could be some amazing surprises. Heart Sunflower, Heart Sunflower. Tiffany Castaneda, hey, just saying hi from Cali. My husband and I listen to you in Troy. We appreciate your work, opinions, and insight. Love the gospel, and all it is exciting insight to the last days. Well, I hope it is insight. I hope that some of these things that we're observing, I hope it means something. Some of it obviously does. It comes from authoritative sources. Other things are just observations, but preparing for Zion, congrats on getting over 20,000 subs. I think I started watching you when you had 5,000 to 6,000. Thank you. And I did not think that I would ever get this far. I'll say it again in case you haven't heard it. One day, because we moved, okay, got out of the Army. Okay, I was going to welding school because I felt promptings to go into welding. I was like, okay, I guess that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a welder. So I went to welding school immediately after the Army, and at that same time I was doing this like side business of graphic design, but it got to the point where I was able to actually make that my job. I was like, holy cow, I'm making enough to do this. I can just like work for myself as a freelancer. And so toward the end of welding school, I just dropped out, and then I focused on graphic design. And then we moved to Kansas. I was like, okay, cool. Well, we're here in Kansas. I have a homestead. I'm doing graphic design. Awesome. Things are amazing. And then just one day, randomly, in August of 2021, I just felt, as we like came home, like on a night like this, after doing like errands, just driving home, I was like, I should do a YouTube video. Just like go to the chicken coop and record a YouTube video, because me and Jenica were thinking a lot about the second coming, so I wanted to just kind of share my thoughts. And one thing led to another, and here we are today. And when things kind of when they started to get going, I was like, well, maybe I'll get to like 3,000 or something like that. It probably won't be more than that. But I was wrong. And I honestly think that the channel's good, because I think it does a few different things. It helps all of us think about the second coming, and you and I, are learning things, observing things, watching signs of the times, going through doctrine about the second coming. So that's all good. But I think the Flood the Earth challenge might be the primary reason why I'm doing this. And that also came as a surprise. It's not like I was like planning on doing the Flood the Earth challenge. I started doing it, and then I realized that I can't just stop. I have to keep doing it for as long as I can, because it's like getting results. And I think that's what my Father wants me to do. So I'm doing the Flood the Earth challenge. And so this is like a very strange thing that's happening in my life, doing this channel. It's not expected, but it's amazing. Getting to 20,000 is great, and I have to wonder at this point, like, how far is this going to go? How far is the Flood the Earth channel going to go? How many spreadsheets am I going to end up having? How many different stories are we going to cover? Is this going to go until the second coming? Is YouTube suddenly going to crash and go, like, I don't know. It's really weird, but it's fun. I'm skipping down if there were other comments. Amy Luria, I absolutely have changed my mind on a lot of things because of your channel. Love the fact that you always back up everything you say. I've shared your channel with as many people that will listen. Thank you. Yeah, I try really hard to not just like say things, but to like actually go to where that idea comes from, and collect as much as you possibly can about whatever the topic is, to like get the big picture. And maybe I'm wrong on some things, I don't know, but I just try and like stick with whatever prophets and apostles have said, because they know what's going on. They're apostles of the Lord. So thank you. LF, welding is a great trade skill. I imagined you as a history teacher in a past chapter. I enjoy your channel a lot. Thank you. Yeah, welding was fun. I really enjoyed the act of welding. It's very satisfying, and I haven't used it since welding school, but I could see maybe some situations where I may use it on my homestead if I ever get like a MIG welder or something like that. Maybe a stick welder. Probably not TIG though. I'm not that good with TIG. At least not aluminum. Aaron Campbell, that cough is worrisome. Make sure you go check it out. Yeah, have to stay healthy so you can keep doing what you're doing. Aloha and mahalo from Hawaii. Thank you. Sorry. I will. I had a cough like this before, sometime last year. And it turned out that, well, it seems like what it was like post-nasal drip. And so I just took more of my hydroxyzine that I take for anxiety, because it's actually an antihistamine. And that cleared it up. I am taking my hydroxyzine a lot, so maybe this time it's something different. I don't know. I have no idea if it's just because I talk so much. I've never talked so much in my life. doing this YouTube channel, this is the most that I've ever talked in my life. I'm not a good talker. I've never been a talker. I'm not really an outgoing person. So that's like one thing that almost held me back from continuing. But I don't know if it's like just all the talking. I don't know if it's like maybe it's asthma. Maybe it's just, I don't know. But yeah, thank you. I'll keep an eye on it. Ginger, it seems like, well, never mind. It's too soon to say that. Ginger McGovern, by the way, my sister and mom in Utah love your channel too. We always share and be like, have you watched his video yet? Good, that makes me happy. I'm glad that you guys enjoy it. Kimberly means Jared. Apostolic Succession in the Restoration is a book available on Amazon researched and written by an institute director here in Riverside, California. It gives the history of every apostle from Joseph Smith. Well, if I get that into it, I will keep that in mind. I want to have all my stuff on my spreadsheets as accurate as possible. Sometimes it's not going to happen, especially like when it comes to like natural disasters and death tolls and maybe sometimes dates. There's just no way to do it. But if it's within like a pretty, like the ballpark, then I think that's good enough for our purposes. But when it comes to like that kind of stuff, I would like to really be as accurate as possible. So thank you for bringing that up. El Paculi, this general conference will definitely focus on Easter. Remember Elder Gong's Easter talk last year. Let's celebrate Easter with reverence and like Christmas. Yeah, that was like the big theme of the April 2023 General Conference was Easter and Palm Sunday. It was kind of amazing. And again, because Palm Sunday, I've said it a million times, it seems like that was like a foreshadowing of when Christ returns again. You know, had everything gone right, and they would have, if everybody would have accepted him as king, his political kingdom would have began at that time. But that's not how it was going to go. And we've had the great apostasy, but now, when he comes this time, he will absolutely worldwide be recognized as king. So that's what got me excited about the April 2023 is like the focus on Palm Sunday, the imagery of it. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they talk more about Easter. Chris Keys, welcome back. Laugh Out Loud. Your 17 videos are amazing. I think about the 15 men plus Christ and our Father in heaven to complete the line of authority. Yeah. Yeah. Well, of course, there's the Holy Ghost too, though, but I don't know. But yeah, it really feels like there's something behind with 17. I don't know if I'd want to like do another video going over all the 17s. I cover it every now and again. I was more into that like a year or two ago, especially in 2022, because the October 2022 General Conference, there were like a lot of 17s in that, or maybe it was the April. I can't remember at this point. But like President Nelson gave a talk that was his main talk of that General Conference was 17 minutes and 17 seconds, and he announced 17 temples to complete. I think it was like 100 total that he had announced as president of the church. 17 to complete 100. A talk that was 17 minutes and 17 seconds. And I think it was his last talk called Now is the Time, he shared that poem about the sundial at Wells College, which he had shared 17 years before as an apostle. And the name of that talk was called Now is the Time to Prepare. But this one was just called Now is the Time. So there were a bunch of 17s in that particular conference. Again, I don't remember if it was the April or the October, but then what happened was the next conference after that, the number was 18. His main talk was 18 minutes. It was 18 minutes and 31 seconds. And that stuck out to me because 1831 is when New Jerusalem, the site for New Jerusalem, was revealed. I don't think that's what he was going for, but that just like stuck out to me. But his talk was 18 minutes long, and he announced 18 temples to complete 300 total for the church. 300 total temples between in operation, announced, and under construction. So it was just a weird thing. 17 to complete 100 for him, 18 to complete 300 for the church. And then the length of his talks. It was weird. I think there was something to it. I really do. I really do. Sleeping with cats. 19 earthquakes shake Oklahoma today. Yeah, I think I've seen some stuff about that, like little like news stories popping up.
What the heck?
What?
This person just parked right there.
You guys, oh my gosh,
What?
there's somebody in there.
And he's throwing stuff out the window. He's totally littering.
Okay, we are parked next to the cart return. Okay, you see the cart return? I'm not going to show that person because if they see what I'm doing, they'll probably get upset. Parked in front of the, you know how sometimes like you see a parking spot, what you think is a parking spot, but it's actually the cart return? These people just said, screw it, we're going to park here. And so there's this white car parked very crookedly in front of the cart return. And there's the driver went inside, the passenger is still in the car, throwing out what looks like to me to be orange peels, maybe.
Oh, like chicken finger bones.
Chicken finger bones.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't care if it's cold. You can't just, the rules of society and civilization don't just go away because it's cold. And it's only 3 degrees. It's not like it's like negative 60 or something like that. Anyway, Creative Gene, we just got a notification of all of Alberta being on rotating electricity usage. Oh, that sucks. Like outages happening because of the drain on our grid from cold snap, which, by the way, is now colder than anywhere on Earth. In Alberta right now, it's colder than anywhere on Earth. Dang it! I'm so sorry. I'd be really mad. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be really mad if I were you right now. But then I'd get over it, and I would try and like, you know, be a good example for my family, for my kids, and just figure it out. What the heck would we do? I guess we would just like wrap up in blankets.
That's horrible.
I guess if it got really bad inside the house, I guess we would start a fire outside. We have a fire pit. Ginger McGovern, will Jenica SP ever get on a video with you or do any homestead stuff? Would love something homemade, homestead type occasionally. Would be fun. I don't know, honey. What do you think?
Stop. Stop. I would love to do something like that, but it makes me a little nervous. I'm not anywhere near a pro at it or anywhere close to being good at it. I just started, but I would love to be able to. I can can chili and can beef stew that my kids love, and maybe I can can some food with you guys all sometime. I don't know. What do you think about that? I could do that. Maybe take you out this summer, not this winter because it's too cold. Take you out this summer and do some chores with you that I do instead of Jared. And what do you guys think? Or let me know what you'd like to see me do. Maybe you start my garden. I'm not sure. Just let me know.
Yeah, pretty much all that we're doing right now, homestead wise, is we just have our chickens. Well, today I kind of like got like a bunch of rocks and made like a French drain. Um, we have our house is really weird. It's like old and weird. Um, the washer, like for washing clothes, the washer and then the kitchen sink, they tie in together in the same line, but they don't go to the septic tank. They go all the way in the heck underneath my cement driveway and grass driveway, and then into the pasture. So it's like gray water, and it's illegal. So we have to like we're doing like this whole thing with the plumbing, and we may need a new septic. I don't know, but once we get that figured out, we're gonna tie it in so it goes to the septic. But in the meantime, I had to create this French drain, which is just basically rocks. The water goes onto the rocks, um, so as to help the pipe not clog up. So that's the most homesteading stuff that we've been doing lately. And then there's this gigantic branch that fell from this dying tree that's now blocking my grass driveway. So pretty soon I'm gonna have to chainsaw that and add to my wood pile. Aaron Campbell, invest in a wood burning stove. Put in a room in your home and get it vented correctly. Do it ASAP.
Yeah.
Okay, just as soon as we do the thousands of dollars septic tank, I will get on that. Ginger McGovern, we would love some of your homemaking sharing stuff. So fun. Women's perspective on all the chores, etc. We want to buy land and homestead too, but where the heck to start? Advice on do's and don'ts.
Okay.
The only advice is just do. Just do. That's what we did. We had no idea what we were doing. Um, it's not rocket science. I'll say that. I mean, there's like definitely good practices and stuff, but we just happened to buy a property that was already really set up nicely for homesteading. Like it was already, our acreage was already fenced in, like with a nice like white fence for cattle. And I don't know, the guy just had it set up really nice. We have this other area where we keep our chickens and use it as a chicken run. But that's what I recommend. Just maybe buy a house that's already set up pretty well. People that have already had cows or goats or something like that. That way you don't have to put in a fence yourself. But if you do, then just do like an electric fence or whatever. But
Kids help.
huh?
Have your kids help.
Have your kids help. Chickens are really, really easy. Goats are really, really hard. Cows are easy. I would recommend cows over goats any day. We started out with goats because we thought, oh, goats, they're smaller, they're easier. No, that's not true. Goats suck. And they don't make you as much money. And I guess if you like goat meat, then go for it. Or if you want goat milk, then go for that. But, we have had a bunch of cows, and we basically just we buy them as bottle calves because so calves that are not on their mothers are cheaper because they're risky, because they can easily get sick and die. And so you can get them for very cheap, and you take that risk, but it's like a lower cost. And if you successfully keep them alive, which it's not the hardest thing to do, but it depends on the calf, then once they've reached a certain stage, like you're past that danger zone, they immediately appreciate and value, and the bigger they get, the more valuable. It's not like you're going to make lots of money doing that, but we do it as a hobby and make some money doing that. And every single time except for one time, we've always made a profit off of raising cows that way. With these last two that we had, they were steers, and they just weren't growing very well, and so we just broke even with them. But all the other ones, we've always made some money. Not a lot, but just enough to make this a viable thing. At some point, we may actually keep one and then raise it to like slaughter weight for ourselves and get a freezer, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. The cows are easy, just make sure just you know if you have questions, like if you actually do it, feel free to email me and I can tell you more. um Ginger McGovern, I bought several propane indoor emergency heaters. So awesome. That's awesome. That's good because we do not have that. LF, I'm slowly acquiring wool blankets for all the people in my family from our military surplus store. Oh, that's good. Yeah, yeah, military surplus. I still have a lot of. Well, I didn't keep anything that I wasn't supposed to, but sometimes you come across things at military surplus stores or at yard sales, like when you're in the military. So I have a lot of like surplus stuff myself, and it's nice. It's handy. We want to try and this is something that we need to do, by the way. We want to like start buying uh, uh, packs of MREs, because they are designed for survival and for when there's not a way to heat your food. So I want to slowly build up like our MRE supply. I think that's a good idea. But we're producing some of our own food, eggs. We have processed some chickens before. We haven't done it in a while, but if we needed to, we could butcher our chickens. Notification. Um, I don't know. I think it's just a good lifestyle. It's good to be able to produce some of your own food. It's rewarding. It's fun having animals. We haven't been very good at gardening. We're still trying to like get that going, but yeah, it's just fun. It's fun. It's good. It's wise, if you can. Dakota Yankton, meow. Yeah, meow. I don't know. Ran. I think it's 17 below in northern Wyoming. Wood stove is fired up, but the tractor won't start to feed the sheep. The water's frozen up to bunkhouse our electricity, working fine. Got rid of our goats. Yeah, goats are just. I don't know. Like, I guess some people want to have goats, but I just. Not us. We have a very small piece of land. I wanted more like 5 to 10 acres, but we only have like 2 acres. But we're able to run a couple cows. Probably not like if they were like adult. If they were like adult, that'd be harder. We'd have to supplement with like hay. But we've always had just like young cows, both heifers and steers, and it works just fine. There's enough grass for them to the point until we get to that point where we want to sell them. Dakota Yankton, just look back in the comments. I make and rotate hardtack. I want to do quail soon. Oh, cool, awesome. LF, I want quail as well. Yeah, we've had other birds. We've had turkeys, and we've done them all. We had a goose. We've had ducks. We've had turkeys. Huh?
No, guineas.
Guineas. Yeah, we've had guineas. But it was all just kind of for fun. Like I think I was the only one that really enjoyed the duck eggs. The turkey eggs were fine. We were gonna process the turkeys, but we just ended up selling them. So now we're just doing chickens. That's like all that we really need. But I haven't done quail. I'd give it a shot. I love having all those type of birds, but like they're an expense, unless you're actually gonna do something with them. But having the chickens is easy. We have like six. Do we still have 16 or is it 15?
It's either, I don't know, I think it's 50.
We had one that died because of a raccoon, but we have like probably like 15. Oh, you guys are done shopping now? They were parked in front of the cart return, like because you're entitled to do that when it's cold. So we have like 15. We have like 15 chickens, and that's fine for us, and it's not expensive hardly at all. And they have a big run too. So they don't free range, but it's like a really big run, I'd say. LF, the eggs are so cute and healthy. Quail eggs.
They're so
Th- those have
tiny.
got to be like tiny.
How many do you have to eat to get a full meal?
Yeah, how many do you have to eat to have a full meal? David Swenson, Taiwan independence. Well, like to maintain their independence, they're. I guess if you ask the Chinese, they're not independent. I don't know. I'm really excited to, well, not excited, but I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with that whole situation this year. I just feel like I feel like this year, I feel like a lot of, it's like, I feel like it's a powder keg. I feel like it's a powder keg because of all the elections. If you didn't catch that video, apparently this is like the biggest year worldwide for elections. Like across all these different countries, all the calendars aligned, and there's going to be over 4 billion people that are eligible to vote in their country's nationwide elections. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of manipulation of things, a lot of like psychological operations going on, and just a lot of things being decided, a lot of chaos. I'm very confused how this war with Hamas, how it could potentially end uh, peacefully in any way. I don't know if that's even possible. I feel like Israel's gotten to a point where there's no easy way out, and I don't blame the action that they've taken. I don't, but it feels like a point of no return has been crossed. This whole Israel Palestinian conflict, it feels like it's like come to a head. Now I could be wrong. Maybe things will somehow turn out peaceful, but I don't know about that. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen this year. Maybe it's probably going to run into next year, the year after that, unless the second coming happens first. There's all sorts of potential for escalation. There already is with the strikes on Yemen. Sorry. Um, and then just everything else. It feels like there's like so much just upheaval right now. And then not to mention the natural disasters. I think it's going to be crazy for that. I feel like it already kind of has been. There's a lot of people that don't like this cold that are just running to the store. Wusses. I have shorts on right now. Look. Shorts. Just shorts. It's fine. Tammy Christensen, I just got here. Thanks for all your work. Thank you, Tammy. I'm glad that you appreciate it. It is a lot of work. Dakota Yankton, agreed. I've noticed a lot of my friends and acquaintances in the church are struggling with activity, beliefs, and other things. Oh yeah, stuff in the church. Ever more, this divide is continuing to grow. More and more people are gonna leave the church and make their choice. The Valley of Decision, Jehoshaphat, both for nations and for individuals, I think. So, okay, sorry, I probably better go. We gotta get home. We're about 45 minutes from home. That's what we have to do to go to Walmart or other places. We have some grocery stores in town, but we go to some of these other ones sometimes. That's another thing. If you're considering like moving to a small town, it's not a big deal. We live an hour from Wichita. We go there all the time. We were there today. It's not a big deal. So we shop in town and support the local businesses, but we also have all of our needs met just by driving an hour, and it's not that big of a deal. I used to think that it was. I was like, oh my gosh, that would take up your whole day, but it doesn't. Um, I guess it depends on your job and how many hours you work and your schedule, but I think it's pretty doable for anybody. Just live within an hour of like a big city, and I think you'll be fine. Not that anybody's asking, but if somebody's like wondering, then there you go. Oh, Ginger, wait, LF, drive safe. Thank you, LF. Ginger McGovern. I was going to ask how far from Temple. So the Oklahoma City Temple is 2.5 hours away, and then the Kansas City Temple, it's like a 4 hour drive, right? I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember. Yeah, like 4 hours to Kansas City. But excuse me, we're gonna have the Wichita Temple, and that's only gonna be an hour away. So I'm excited for that. Dakota Yankton, have a good one. Smiley face. I'm heading out. Love your videos. Thank you. I love you guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. Have a good Sabbath, and I'll try and have some good videos for next week. I still have more ideas for videos, and they'll come out. So look forward to those. I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.